News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. My gosh, we got a lot of cabinet picks just unveiled today, and I like it. There was a big curveball. We got Pete Hegseth from Fox News. And I knew he was a veteran's veteran. You know what I mean? Not just a veteran, not just a hero like our veterans who serve honorably are. But the tours that he did, the experience he has, and then beyond that, the mad, rabid passion he has for our troops, his knowledge of war strategy and the international stage is really amazing. I was listening to Kayleigh McEnany, who, of course, was Trump's spokesperson, and she hosted Fox and Friends right after the October 6th massacre that Joe Biden funded by giving Iran tens of billions of dollars by letting them open up their spigot of oil and pump it, and giving them $6 billion for hostages, American hostages that we're not supposed to negotiate with. And he enriched and gave Hamas via Iran all that money to kill and slaughter Jews October 7th. And the next day, Pete Hegseth was with Kayleigh McEnany hosting Fox and Friends weekend, like he always does up until now. And she said that he was there at 4:30 in the morning, at 4:58 a.m. with the billboard up that he had put up. Not the billboard physically, but, the digital billboard, and it had all the countries in the whole region. And he went through and explained each country and its relationship and what it meant in all of this, like nobody had, was command of the Middle East and world knowledge and world military and strategy. So the other thing is that Pete Hegseth fought honorably in Afghanistan, in Iraq, and was also at Gitmo, stationed at Gitmo. So that's what I'm saying. This guy is going to send people into harm's way. This guy is going to put people's lives at stake and put our military in places they may or may not want to go. People may or may not want us to go, because he's been there before. He's been out there. He earned 2 Bronze Stars and another distinguished honor. I can't remember the exact honor, but the man has multiple medals. And is a hero's hero who, most importantly, out of everything, he loves country and he loves the people that serve in our military, and he valiantly cares for them. And this is really an amazing pick. I certainly, when I heard it, I was surprised. I was like, what? But I also was like, okay, well, let's hear what it is, because I know he's a lover of the military and has a great track record serving us. So once I heard all these types of things, if you know the geopolitical scene, you know the global scene with war and with militaries and countries, then that's one of the big things. And then the ability to send troops into harm's way and actually be one is very, very important I think to so many of us. So I want to give some other announcements, major ones. This is obviously Elon Musk picking the name. Doge, as in Dogecoin. Doge is another slang term for dog. And I'm sure somebody will explain it to me differently, but my son, was the one who's like, Doge. He's like, yeah, it's dog. Anyways, so it's called Doge, the department. Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, who's been on the show twice for up to an hour sometimes when he's been on. Vivek Ramaswamy is going to co-chair with Elon Musk the Doge department, which is the Department of Government Efficiency. And they're going to be working for 2 solid years. They will be going through each department and they will be culling it and trimming it down like you wouldn't believe. I think that Musk, from recollection reading today, because all this is late breaking, you can be a super expert by tomorrow, but all of it's breaking. And so you start learning relevant things as you continue to imbibe the news, like I have been in this past hour or two or so since this all started coming out. And Elon Musk cut approximately 80% of Twitter's staff, I think. So bureaucrats all over this country are understandably fearing this, and they're going to try to fight this. And nobody, can you imagine the level of fighting and BSery, if you will, and hiding and obfuscation without looking like you're the one doing it, that Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy have seen when they come in to cull companies and trim it down? They've seen it all. They know what human nature is. They know what people's reactions are. And so, you remember Elon Musk bringing in the kitchen sink and Twitter This is really incredible what Trump's doing. Here's the other thing. These picks are rapid fire. It took Trump a week to even name the first person as chief of staff 8 years ago. This man is so chomping at the bit and ready to go. He already knows who he wants. He's figuring it out. I'm going to give you more of the details here of all the different people that were named today. I'm telling you, this is incredible. And I've not heard one person say any of this is bad. Even Karl Rove, who clearly does not like Trump at all because he's a Bush guy. He just disdains people like Trump for not playing the game. Karl Rove was praising Trump today in the middle of the day. I've heard nothing but praise. Now your turn to chime in because I like what I'm seeing. All the people, I'll go through the other ones named today, but all these people have been announced. And my question is, as these announcements for cabinet positions come flying in, ambassadors and more, Mike Huckabee named ambassador to Israel, which is beautiful. How happy are you with these picks? Which one are your favorites? What's the thing you're most looking forward to as you hear these picks? And how confident are you that Trump will get it right this time and get a lot more done than his last time? 800-288-WBAP is our number. Lines wide open. We have 4 minutes to pop you on, so get on the phone now. 800-288-9227. That's 800-288-WBAP. More of the picks. Susie Wiles, chief of staff, that was the first thing. He announced that within 6 hours of winning, I think. Last time it took him a week to announce one. And he literally plugged all the holes. Instead of picking people that he knew or had in mind, he plugged all the holes with what the Republican Party told him to do. He has remade this party in his own image. He has. And I told you this for the last month or two before the election. I told you that it's either going to be a massive failure because he took it all over. They fired everybody. They rebuilt it. Everybody in Michigan, for example, they fired the whole team. All the Republican classical people that had been there for years and decades, they fired them all and they put in their own Trump people. Well, look what happened. He freaking won Michigan. So everything's in his image. This is his party through and through. He's been in charge of it for 8 years. The struggle's over. You lost. He won. You meaning the people that try to toe the line. The George Bush types, the Mitt Romney's types, the Jebels types, all those folk. It's over. So let's go through with this more, though. Mike Waltz is incredible. He's a veteran, a retired colonel. He is going to be the national security advisor. I have heard nothing but happiness on him. He is a Florida Republican, former Army Green Beret, and he also is a hawk on China and Iran. See that? That's good. But we're getting a lot of huevos, a lot of cojones on the table that are anti-Iran and anti-China, as far as knowing who our adversaries are and ballsy approach to them. So he also, as National Security Advisor, Michael Waltz, I think he's a chairman on the House Intel Committee or something of that nature, so he really knows what he's doing. Elise Stefanik, UN ambassador, she'll be fantastic. She's the one who broke up the anti-Semitism at campuses and led to firing of 2 or 3 of the presidents of those universities, Columbia, Harvard, and MIT, I think, or at least most of them fired she was the one that nailed them. So she'll do the same thing, like a surgeon excising the bad stuff and breaking it down and publicly saying it with cojones. Well, in this case, ovaries the size of church bells. I love Mike Huckabee. Jesse Waters on Fox this afternoon said, well, he's not Jewish. What does that mean? You don't have to be a Jew to be a great ambassador to Israel. But no, I bet you Mike Huckabee's been to Israel like 100 times. He is a pastor, a Southern Baptist pastor. So he loves Israel. I guarantee you he has a very close relationship with Bibi before this happened. So this is going to be a perfect transition. EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin, who was almost elected to the governor of New York. He is a very big Trump supporter, and he's a New York congressman. And he is perfect for EPA because he's going to do what's right for our country. He's going to protect the clean air and clean water, but he's also going to destroy these horrible regulations that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris put on us that are crippling companies, crippling our productivity, and crippling our oil and gas production. We got 3 lines open. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Other notables, North Texas' own John Ratcliffe, CIA director. He was the director of national intelligence last time. CIA now, what does that tell you? There's no bureaucrats running the CIA anymore. Marco Rubio, this is great. Marco Rubio is the Secretary of State. That's likely pick. He hasn't named it yet, but it's going to be the Secretary of State and everybody. Even the freaking View was praising Marco Rubio today. Can you believe it? Okay, let's pop on Nolte. Oh, wait, Noel, N-O-L-E, Noel. And you want to talk about Rick Scott for the possible Senate Majority Leader. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, just a question about that. It is Rick Scott that they're thinking about. I thought I heard or read something about in Florida he was pushing some red flag laws that were going to hurt people who have weapons and maybe even have due process removed.
I don't know anything about that, but I do know that he's Trump's pick, and the Trump supporters in Congress and in the Senate, he's their pick. I know that. So I'm not, I don't know about the red flag law, and if he's changed his mind or what. I can't answer to that. But he's not a cabinet pick. We're talking about the cabinet picks. And so how happy are you with the picks that have been announced today and prior to this? And which are your favorites, and how confident are you that Trump will get it right this time and get a lot more done than last time?
Oh, I sure hope he gets it right this time. I hope he cleans house and just gets all the people that were backstabbing and in the way last time. Just get them all.
Well, he's not picking any of those people. I was mentioning this a little earlier, like a minute or two ago, but last time he just plugged the holes with who the RNC people told him, and you got these, classical political machine people in there that undermined him because he didn't play their game. So I think this time he's got his own people he's picking and loyalists to him, not to the machine. And so I like that. What's your favorite pick so far, and how confident are you that he's going to get things done?
Yeah, I think Rubio is going to be a good choice for Secretary of State.
Yeah, he's got real cojones, and he's fantastic and strong.
Wasn't he on like the foreign committee, international committee or something like that? So I think he's got some good guys.
Yeah, I think so. He's another Iran and China hawk, which is good. He, let's see. Yeah, he's a part of the Senate Intelligence Committee. So he's really, really good. Yeah. What a long way he's come.
He knows all the background about Hamas and everything. He's not going to put up with any.
Right. Same thing with Mike Walls, who's on the. I think he's on the what do you call it? The House Intelligence Committee. So he knows a lot of stuff too. Appreciate your call. Appreciate it, Noel. Thank you. All right, we'll talk to Ross coming up next in Bowie, Texas. Plus your call. We got 4 lines open. 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. Asking you, how happy are you with these picks? Which are your favorites on the cabinet for Trump? We got Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy to lead the DOGE Department of Government Efficiency for 2 years. I think they're going to bust it up after that and just end it. But this is going to be intense and incredible. I want to talk to you more about that. I've got a lot more details I'll share with you in 2 minutes at 8:18 on what they're going to do, what they've said publicly. Some of Elon Musk's tweets, you can see them by following me on Twitter. I've been retweeting them at Chris Krok Show. That's at Chris Krok Show. Some of his humor on it. But how happy are you with these picks? Which are your favorites? And how confident are you that Trump will get it right this time and get a lot more done than last time? I think he knows he's got 4 years, and he knows that's not a long time at all. So he wants to go, and achieve a lot and do amazing things. And I think he will. 45/47. He's it. We'll get into that coming up next. Ross, your calls first, plus your call at 800-288-WBAP on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Okay, this is in Spanish, but this is a preview of Elon and Vivek working at DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency. Javier Milei, the president of, which one is it? I can't remember which, is it El Salvador, I think? Here he goes. Argentina. No, yeah, Argentina, thank you.
Ministerio de Turismo y Deporte, afuera. Ministerio de Cultura, afuera. Ministerio de Ambiente y Desarrollo Sostenible, afuera.
Afuera means out. So each one's ministry. This one's Ministry of Women, Genders, and Diversity. They got these little magnets on the board. Just afuera. Just throwing each department. Here we go.
Ministerio de las Mujeres y Género y Diversidad, afuera. Ministerio de Obras Públicas,
Public Works, afuera.
Aunque te resista. Ministerio de Ciencia y Tecnología
Science,
e Innovación,
Technology, Innovation,
afuera.
Out.
Ministerio de Trabajo, Empleo y Seguridad Social,
Labor, Employment,
afuera.
Social Security,
Ministerio
out.
de Educación,
Education,
Adoctrinamiento, afuera.
Out.
Ministerio de Transporte, afuera.
Transportation, out.
Ministerio de Salud,
Health,
afuera.
Out. Salud is healthy. Salud. Afuera. And he takes the magnet, he rips it, he throws it over his shoulder.
Ministerio de Desarrollo Social, afuera. Se acabó
The thievery of politics is over.
burro de la política. ¡Viva la libertad, carajo!
Long live freedom, damn it. Yes. Afuera! And he put here, if printing money, here's a quote from him, if printing money would end poverty, printing diplomas would end stupidity. Speaking of Department of Education stuff, or whatever you call it, he's going to end the Department of Education, but Trump also is now going to tax the endowments of these major private universities like Harvard. They have $1.6 billion in endowments. He's going to start taxing them, because they're getting largesse off of us and we're paying for stuff. Amen. A to the men on that. So Elon Musk has already tweeted out about him and Vivek running Doge, Department of Government Efficiency tonight. Threat to democracy? Nope. Threat to bureaucracy, he put tonight. Department of Government Efficiency. The merch will be on fire. So Doge, the Doge Department. That will. That's great. He came up with that name. Okay, 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. More major announcements. Mike Huckabee, Israeli ambassador. Let's see. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, very likely at this point. Border czar Tom Homan, which is great. I love that, actually. Mike Waltz, National Security Advisor, UN Ambassador. Lee Stefanik, that's great. Israeli Ambassador Mike Huckabee, which is fantastic. And Susie Wiles, Chief of Staff. World of difference from last time and this time Trump's been in office. What's your reaction to this? Who's your favorite? And what are you most looking forward to them achieving in this new administration? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Three lines open. Ross and Bowie, you are on WBAP. Welcome.
Good evening, sir. Thank you for taking my call.
You're welcome.
My comment, I am very comfortable with, in general, with the picks that President-elect Trump has announced so far. That being said, I am eagerly waiting to hear who he chooses for what I consider probably the most important position of all is Attorney General.
Yes, that's one that fake news CNN says that he is struggling over with a lot right now, which one to go with. I would love Matt Whitaker, who was, I think, the Assistant Attorney General. That guy has been on Fox all the time for years, and he is brilliant. I love him, and I love his demeanor. I think he would be perfect.
Yeah, he would be a good choice. Personally, I'm kind of looking outside the box, and I'm really hoping it's somebody like a Jim Jordan.
Interesting. I like Jim Jordan where he's at in the House, but interesting. Is he an attorney? I know you might not have to be.
I believe he is.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Most of them are. I appreciate your call, Ross. Thank you. Let's go to Jim in Fort Worth. Hello, WBAP. What do you got?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yeah, I'm great with all the choices, and I think if you're looking for Attorney General, let's look at Mark Levin.
The great one! Ah, you big dummy!
Yeah.
Get off of my phone! Mr. Producer! Mr. Producer!
Now,
on
a more important note,
well,
there's a lot of landmines that are being left behind by the Biden administration, making it hard for him to fire people and all of these bureaucracies. My answer is simple. I'm transferring you to the Border Patrol. I'm sending you down to the border.
There you
go. If you don't like the job, you don't have to take it.
There you go. We're going to talk about Border Patrol. Great call, Jim Fort Worth. Great call. We're going to talk about Border Patrol in a little bit because Holman has gone in a good way, not quote unquote, but in a very good way. But right now, we're going to get into this coming up next. We actually have, and you kind of going to say, of course, we already knew this. No. Many people may not have heard this. What Joe Biden said to a reporter today shows that I believe he has dementia, which I know you're going to say you already knew, but I'm telling you, we have a dementia patient for president. Wait till you hear how he snapped the reporter today. Have you heard the audio of him snapping the reporter today? It's bad. It's like whoa. So I looked up the dementia traits. He has a bunch of them, especially with what he did today. That's coming up next. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. A little bit more on the cabinet picks for Donald J. Trump in just a sec. But also, I have to share this with you. Listener John tweeted this out to me. And you should follow me on Twitter. You should follow me on Facebook, where I do Facebook Lives every night, usually at 8 p.m. on the dot, like right now. So you can see me live every night, 8 p.m. live. Facebook, just go to @ChrisKrok That's @ChrisKrok ChrisKrok. By the way, that's the handle for everything. Twitter, Instagram, etc. Okay, @ChrisKrok ChrisKrok. All right, so, but John says, please also consider moving departments out of D.C. Energy to Texas or North Dakota, for example. That's exactly right, and that is what they're going to do. He's going to bust up Department of Justice, FBI stuff all over the country. Chris Wray is, pooping his pants because he's out, obviously, something fierce. So this is really, 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 really a good time, and I'm excited. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. By the way, Trump Vance releasing this statement from President-elect Trump, about DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency. They're going to dismantle government bureaucracy, slash excess regulations, cut wasteful expenditures, restructure federal agencies essential to the Save America movement. This will send shockwaves to the system. Anyone involved in government waste, which is a lot of people, said Mr. Musk. This will become, Trump says, potentially the Manhattan Project of our time. Politicians have dreamed about the objectives of DOGE for a very long time to drive this kind of drastic change. DOGE will provide advice and guidance from outside of government. We'll partner with the White House and official management, OMB, Office of Management Budget, to drive large-scale structural reform. Entrepreneurial approach to government never seen before. Okay, there you go. And look at this. Wheel drive. Did you know the Department of Education is like a city block long? That's kind of an example of what kind of a joke our government is with the bloatedness of it. We will also drive out the massive waste and fraud which exists throughout our annual $6.5 trillion government spending. $6.5 trillion. This is incredible. Rick in Florida wanted to chime in on this as well as you can. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. By the way, in just a sec, you're going to hear audio of Joe Biden today snapping at a camera person in a way that, to me, makes it clear he has dementia. I looked it up and I'm like, my gosh, there's so many symptoms he has. What he said today is one of them. You'll hear that next. It's not getting as much publicity as it should because it's bad. Rick in Florida, hello. What do you got? WBAP.
Hey, Chris.
Hey.
So on the AG pick, first of all, Jim Jordan is not a lawyer.
Okay, yeah.
Even though he's on the Judiciary Committee, he's not a lawyer.
Well, but the other thing is you probably don't have to be a lawyer, I'm guessing, but still, I prefer somebody who knows the law and is a lawyer, an attorney, yeah.
Right. So I'm getting to that, and I like Matt Whitaker. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, he's great.
I love the guy, but the guy we need in there is a guy who is targeted by the AG, the FBI, and the CIA, and that is Kash Patel.
Yeah, he does have a position, and they have already named him, and I don't have the position in front of me, but he also has been named on something. Let me see here. I think the CIA, it could be him and the CIA or something.
No. CIA is former Congressional District 4
Ratcliffe?
in Texas.
Yeah, Ratcliffe. That's right. I mean, because he was formerly Director of National Intelligence.
Right.
But, I saw that he was picked on something. I just can't remember what. I'll look it up.
No. He's only been rumored to have been picked to the CIA.
No. I know. I'm Ratcliffe. I know. I'm talking about Kash Patel position. I think he's been named for something of that name. It might be CIA, actually. Let's see. Trump picks...
that's Ratcliffe.
Okay, sorry. I'm getting confused. All right. He's a top contender for CIA director. Interesting. As of yesterday. Oh, okay.
That
I know you said it 4 times. I know. Okay, thank you. Anything else, sir?
Nope, that's it.
Okay, thank you. There was something else in there. There's just a lot of these things flying today. We will see. Okay. It was an FBI director. Let me see. This is also yesterday. He could help reshape the FBI or Justice Department. All right. We'll see. We'll see. But he's going to be on the Department of something. He will be in the Trump cabinet at some level. Ron in Joshua. Hello, WBAP. Let's go.
Hi, Chris. I like all the stuff Trump's done first, but I'd really, really like to see Ken Paxton become Attorney General because he's a bulldog. He's not afraid to file suits. He's done a bunch against the Biden administration, I think maybe even as far back as Obama. I'm not sure about that. But I believe that what gets rewarded gets done, what gets penalized heavily enough stops. And I want somebody in there that will take and build a Donald J. Trump new federal president and put all these traitors and people that have lied to us and stolen from us in jail, starting with Fauci and Comey and so on down the line.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard. We're going to get into this probably tonight or tomorrow, but Fauci, out of our taxpayer dollars, as a private citizen after he retired, we've spent $15 million from Joe Biden deciding to offer him U.S. Marshals protection as a private citizen.
Jeez. Wow.
Yeah, he destroys us. He kills us with COVID. He covers it up. He uses our money to kill us with COVID, lies to us, tells us to get a vaccine that'll hurt us, many of us, not all of us, but many of us, and then absconds with he's the highest paid government employee ever at $437,000 a year, retires with a massive package that none of us will ever see in our lifetime, and then gets on our dime $14 million of free security 24/7 from U.S. Marshals. By the way, when our own government wouldn't protect our own Supreme Court justices who were being threatened until after the threat surfaced with a crazed leftist with a gun wanting to duct tape and kill him. Yeah. Sick freaking government. And you know what? Donald J. Trump was asked about this, and one of the people that are in his sphere today told Fox News he is not going to be pursuing charges. He's not going to. I think it was Kayleigh McEnany. It was somebody of that nature, and they said he's not going to pursue charges on Hillary or Joe Biden, and he's also not going to pardon Hunter. He's not going to do anything political or anything with justice unless something comes up while he's there.
I think that's a mistake because if you don't do something with it, they will never, ever, ever stop.
Well, I think that's different, though. That's leaders that are political leaders and going after them like they did to him. He's not going to do that. But if you're talking about people who have broken the law in their jobs to try to take him down, that's different. I think he is going to do that because you can't break the law and to try to take out a president. That
didn't
must
Hillary
be
break the law.
That must
Chris,
be.
Didn't you?
Huh?
Did Hillary break the law? Did Hillary break the law?
Yes.
Okay, there you go. There's one.
Well, there's a statute of limitations. You do understand that he chose not to do that when he won in 2016. That was the time to do it. So you want him to bring up something from 9 years later that he chose not to do in the first term? That would make him look bad.
Well, okay.
That would make him look bad. You didn't do it for 4 years. You come back for 8 years later and you do it? You want him to do that? You want him to pursue something from 8 years ago, 9 years ago?
Watch her. She'll do something else.
No, but are you serious about that? You want him to go after something that he wouldn't go after 9 years ago?
No, not now. I understand what you're saying.
All right,
but I think she'll do something else. All right, thanks.
Okay, Joe Biden. I'm going to play it for you right now because it sounds like he has... Actually, we'll take a quick time out in a minute. But I'll tell you this. He said something today. He was in the Oval Office. And there was a whole press gaggle of press people there in the Oval Office asking him questions. And one reporter asked him about a hostage deal. Do you think you can get a hostage deal done before the end of your term? And he said something that was so rude and crass and terribly wrong, horribly wrong to say. Nobody would defend it. And I said, that's got to be a sign of dementia. And for those of you who have a loved one who has dementia, for those of you who have gone through it and you've lost a loved one to it, I've talked to somebody recently, by God's grace, my parents are hitting 80 now and such. And by God's grace, they haven't dealt with that at this time. But many people in our age bracket have parents that are elderly or that have already passed. Somebody I talked to the other day was telling me it was a blessing when their father or their mother passed because that last year or two was hell because they didn't recognize them. They the only way my friend who told me about this that their parent could, I just forget who it was and I forget which parent it was, This was in this past week or so. I was talking to somebody off the air, and they said that the only reason that Mom could recognize me was when I would sing some of these old gospel hymnals from church, and then she would just light up and start singing with me. Other than that, didn't even know me. So I think that Joe Biden definitely has dementia now, especially after what he said today. And I went over to the Mayo Clinic and I looked up signs of dementia, and wouldn't you know it, several of these hit the mark. And it has everything to do with what he said and how he said it to this reporter today. I'm going to play that for you coming up next on the Chris Krok Show. Plus, if you have experience with this, chime in right now. Get on at 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. I'll play the audio, tell you my thoughts on it, and then go to your call next on the Chris Krok Show at 45 after the hour on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. 800-288-WBAP is our number. Okay, here we go. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. 800-288-WBAP is our number. Okay, I have the audio. This is Joe Biden today in the Oval Office. A reporter asking him, I'm going to read it verbatim. Reporter Neria Krause. She says, I asked President Biden if he thinks that he can get a hostage deal done by the end of his term. He answered, commenting on the number of cameramen in the room, do you think you can get hit in the head by the camera behind you? So she asks, can you get a hostage deal done by the end of this term? And he replies, do you think you can get hit in the head by the camera behind you? Let me play that for you.
President Biden, do you think that you can get a hostage deal by the end of your term?
You think you can get hit in the head by a camera behind you? All right. Thank you all.
Again, she says, I asked President Biden if he thinks he can get a hostage deal done by the end of his term. He answered, commenting on the number of cameramen in the room, do you think that you can get hit in the head by the camera behind you? You might think that's not that big of a deal. You might think it's funny. I'm not here to try to play off, I'm just telling you, that's dementia. And so I looked it up, and the Mayo Clinic says, here's symptoms. Increasingly inappropriate social behavior. He kissed his sister on the lips yesterday at a public ceremony. He's stuffing baby's feet in his mouth, right? You'll hear about that in a minute more. They do oral stimulation. They put they put objects in their mouths. I didn't know that. And that's what he's doing with that stuff. Here we go. Increasingly inappropriate social behavior, like telling a reporter about a camera, hope that, or what did they say? Do you think you can get hit in the head by the camera behind you? She wasn't being rude. She was just asking a question. You heard it. Loss of empathy and other interpersonal skills. So increasingly inappropriate social behavior, definitely, yes. Loss of empathy and other interpersonal skills. For example, not being sensitive to another person's feelings, like that. Lack of judgment, like this, right? Like what he just said today. Loss of inhibition, that. You can think stuff. We all think stuff like that, like, screw you, lady. But, he just said it all out. He wouldn't have said that out loud 10 years ago, do you think? Now, if it was a rude question, maybe he would have. I know he can do that kind of stuff. But no, this was like, whoa, dude. Here's another one. Prefer to eat sweets. Typically overeat or prefer to eat sweets. He definitely likes his ice cream. Eating objects. That's where he puts, and then here's the other part, compulsively wanting to put things in the mouth. Remember those kids dressed up as turkeys? Or some kind of whatever for Halloween, he was shoving their feet in his mouth? Kind of makes you think about that. My question for you, I definitely think he has dementia. I think it's going to be written about in books that he had it and they covered it up. People are going to do tell-alls in a year or 2 or 6 months. Or right after his term's over, they're going to do a tell-all, especially now that he blew up the Democrat Party. My question is, do you think this is another sign of dementia in President Biden? Would he have said this 5 years ago or even 10 years ago? Telling her, do you think that camera can hit you? Do you think you can get hit in the head by the camera behind you? After she asked a regular question that the press would ask. Would he have said this 5-10 years ago, you think? What are other signs you're seeing that show dementia, or do you think it's something else? Old age, or he's just a sore loser? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. I think this is another sign that the man has dementia. This is from the Mayo Clinic, by the way. When I looked it up, I was like, dude, almost everything he's checked off, she checks out on the list of symptoms. Changes in the language ability or loss of speech. Well, we know he's had a tremendous amount of difficulty speaking and stuttering, not because of his stutter from when he was a kid. Like, this is like, here's more. Listen to this. He may not be able to find the right word to use in speech. That's perfect with what he's like, well, he forgets their names, he forgets objects. Here's another one. Trouble naming things. People with frontotemporal dementia may replace a specific word with a more general word, such as using it for pen. That is totally him. He's done that a lot. The thing, stuff like that. Movement conditions, rigidity. That is absolutely who he is. He's extremely rigid now. Falls or trouble walking, definitely falling up, falling down the stairs. In Air Force One, having to wear gym shoes instead of dress shoes, having to have the little boy stairs to go underneath the bed. I mean, that's really what they are, little boy stairs. We've never seen a president do that before, right? Little boy stairs. So I think he's got dementia. I'll play it for you one more time. Maybe you have somebody in your family, a loved one who had dementia or Alzheimer's, or maybe you have one now and you're seeing the same kind of things with Biden that you've seen in your own loved one. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Here's this audio clip again.
President Biden, do you think that you can get a hostage deal by the end of your term?
I think you can get hit in the head by a camera behind you. All right.
What the heck? Do you think you can get hit in the head by the camera behind you? Was there a question out of bounds? Was it rude? Was it sneering? Was he trying to catch him on something? This is amazing. I just think it's quite remarkable how much he's lost it. And I don't think it's a gaffe. I don't think it's because he lost or he's being attacked by his own party or it's being eviscerated or ripped apart. I just think the guy has a real problem. And I don't know who this woman works for. I'm going to pull it up right now. Here we go. Let's see who Neria Krause is. If she's like AP or what she is. Okay, News Israel 13. So she's an Israeli reporter at one of the news channels in Israel. Okay, there you go. Yeah, I mean, my gosh. Can you get hit in the head with a camera? The camera behind you. All right, there he is, our president with dementia. Coming up next on the Chris Krok Show on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. This is a big one. Tom Homan is saying, who will be the border czar for President-elect Trump, he's saying that special operators, this is exactly what Jason Jones, our retired DPS captain who was in charge of counterintelligence and counterterrorism and the border for DPS before he retired and now is with Newsmax as a border correspondent. He comes on our show all the time. This is exactly what he said needs to be done. Sending special operators with Mexican special operators into the cartels to kill them or to capture them and jail them in America. That's what needs to be done. And firing missiles at their base of operations and at their massive pill factories, fentanyl factories, blowing them up. He's declared war on them, and this is part of what they're going to do. He says, yes, we're going to take out the cartels, special operators. We're going to double the levels of ICE and Border Patrol in sanctuary cities that won't cooperate. All that, we're going to talk about that coming up next. And are you okay with going to war with the cartels? Are you okay with defying sanctuary states no matter what, no matter how bad it gets? And, are you okay that, supposedly, families or grandmothers could be deported? You never know. All that's coming up next on the Chris Krok Show. 800-288-WBAP is our number on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. That's at 9:03.